local, late breaking. This is Newswatch 12 at 6.
The Ashland Rotary Centennial Ice Rink announced that they won't be opening in the 2025 to 2026 season, leaving community members devastated. Thanks for joining us for Newswatch 12 at 6. I'm Samantha Cadera.
And I'm Oscar Rodriguez. A sudden engineering setback has halted plans for Ashland's beloved ice rink. Newswatch 12's Daryl Green has a story.
As I walk outside the Ashland Rotary Centennial Ice Rink, there's a stand with a message that reads, "We'll see you next season." Now, this is a message that has saddened many citizens within the Ashland community and beyond who are in the holiday spirit.
It's tough, and we did everything we could to bring it across the line.
Following Ashland Parks and Recreation's announcement that the Ashland Rotary Centennial Ice Rink won't open this holiday season, citizens expressed a variety of their thoughts on social media. But Houston says that this isn't a scenario that they could have planned for.
The risk of having our structural engineer be laid off was not something we couldn't plan for. And once we discovered it, we worked diligently with staff and with our architect.
Ashland Parks and Recreation was transitioning the ice rink from a temporary structure to a permanent one. And so that process was halted in the middle of June as they were working with the manufacturer to secure an Oregon engineer stamp.
We identified that they had to go through a process and get approved, but it was feasible. And as we checked in with them and progressed through the process, it appeared that they were meeting the milestones and making progress until we were notified that he was laid off.
The engineer who was laid off by the manufacturer due to financial reasons was their sole engineer.
We delayed this decision by a couple weeks for a glimmer of hope of maybe we could, but now it's not going to happen.
Though the ice rink is not opening this season, Ashland Parks and Recreation's goal is to transition to a permanent structure by the beginning of next spring. Reporting in Ashland, I'm Daryl Green.
And fog is already settling into some of our valleys this evening, so let's check in with Storm Alert Weather 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman. Matt, where are we seeing some reduced visibility?
Well, the worst of it right now is in the Shasta Valley, but we will see fog developing in many of our west side valleys overnight. Visibility still holding on in Medford and Grants Pass, but likely going to see some areas of fog, maybe a little bit of drizzle and mist in some of our west side valleys through the overnight hours. Mainly clear skies right now in Klamath Falls, and temperatures are tumbling. It's 34 degrees in Klamath Falls, 52 degrees along the coast in Gold Beach. Check out Montague, where visibility is down to a quarter of a mile, and that dense fog is going to carry on through the night. There is a dense fog advisory that's been issued. This goes until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for the Shasta Valley. Visibility down to a quarter mile or less. It's 37 degrees right now in Montague, 41 in Mount Shasta. It's 35 in Lakeview, 34 degrees up in Chemult and Christmas Valley, and we're in the mid-40s for Grants Pass and Medford. So satellite and radar imagery, very quiet out there besides the clouds and fog in some of our inland valleys. Otherwise, it's fairly clear, and it should stay mainly clear for tonight. High pressure is in control, and it's going to keep things pretty stagnant for us when it comes to not only dry weather, but also fairly mild temperatures, as well as mostly sunny skies expected right through the weekend. But because we don't have a lot of wind and with recent light moisture that we've seen, that's why we're seeing such stubborn clouds and fog in many of our west side valleys, and that will likely continue, but we should see, as this air mass dries out, clouds breaking up a bit quicker as we head into the weekend. So at least hoping for some breaks of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, even in the Rogue Valley. We'll talk more about your Friday and what to expect for the weekend coming up.
We're learning new details in Tuesday morning's shooting in McCloud. Both suspects are now in custody. Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office said they first encountered the two outside of Mount Shasta city limits. There they were sleeping in the back of a pickup with stolen property. After verbally identifying themselves, the suspects drove away and later fired a gun at the deputy who pursued them. The suspects managed to disappear from view and fled on foot.
The male suspect was located that night in a garage on Minnesota Avenue. He faces several charges, including attempted murder. The female suspect was found last night in a different residence on the same road and was charged with receiving stolen property. A closer look at this incident can be found on KDRV.com.
New at 6 tonight, a new task force is working to identify barriers to jury duty to figure out how to get more Oregonians to serve. The Oregon Judicial Department says 1 in 4 Oregonians didn't respond to state court summons, and another 25% asked to be excused from serving. The 15-member task force aims to improve how jurors are paid and how to better promote the need for jurors. The task force was created by Senate Bill 1175, which was passed during the 2025 legislative session.
And the Oregon Employment Department has released the unemployment numbers for the month of September, slightly rising by 0.2%. September numbers for Jackson, Josephine, and Klamath counties are not yet available, but August numbers all sat above state average, with Jackson County at 5.6%, Josephine County at 7.1%, and Klamath County at 7%. Healthcare and social assistance gains 1,300 jobs, with construction and professional businesses services up by 700. The largest losses were felt in financial activities, down by 700.
Now, moving into a developing story, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is proposing changes to expand the hunting programs across the Klamath Basin National Wildlife Refuge Complex.
These changes aim to address the unpredictability of waterfowl hunt opportunities and the safety hazards of the current hunt and sanctuary units. The proposed changes include opening a new area for waterfowl uniting in the Upper Klamath Wildlife Refuge and add quail hunting to the pheasant season in the Lower Klamath and Tule Lake Refuge.
Public comment on these proposed changes is expected to open in spring or summer and will remain open for 60 days. A decision will be made after public comment and be implemented fall of 2026.
And this week, Forest Service staff members discovered a shelter on the Pacific Crest Trail had been boarded up by plywood and plastic. Take a look at the historic Wrangell Gap shelter in the Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest. Staff members and a local fire crew later returned to remove the unwanted materials, restoring the landmark to its original state.
And we're tracking changes in SNAP benefits as the state must enforce new work rules. These changes come after the USDA ended Oregon's work rule waivers. Now, roughly 37,000 Oregonians who are able-bodied adults without dependents must meet new requirements or risk losing SNAP benefits after 3 months. A closer look at those changes and how to check your eligibility can be found on our website.
And continuing a long-standing partnership, Access and Medford received a truckload of food donations today.
That's right. Newswatch 12's Grace Ritz was there and shows us why this is so important, especially right now.
Well, the holidays tend to be the busiest times for us here. We're feeling the need a little bit heavier this year.
Now, I know you can see this massive Sherm's truck behind me, and I want you to just imagine how much food you think can actually fit inside this truck. Well, earlier, Sherm's donated an entire truckload full of food to Access to help out during the holiday season.
This is over 20,000 pounds of food, over 2,000 cases.
For its 28th year, Access and Sherm's came together at the Access warehouse to unload this massive donation of food, something that the Allruds family has always felt passionate about.
Community is important. I mean, we can't be who we are without our community, the customers. So to be able to give back, it wouldn't happen without them and our employees, everybody working hard to make this happen.
The donations will help keep Access shelves stocked in order to help families all over the Rogue Valley.
All of our food pantries are strictly ran by volunteers, and it just takes a village. So they stock the shelves, they check in the participants. It's just a huge process from beginning to end.
And both Access and Sherm's agree that right now the world needs it most.
We'll do it around the same time, right around Christmas every year, but you can see in the world that the need is just, it seems every year that it just gets to be more and more of a demand.
Reporting in Medford, I'm Grace Ritz.
The largest volunteer organization in Southern Oregon will have their last event of the year this weekend. The Medford Food Project and several others in the Rogue Valley will have their last green bag pickup this Saturday. Every other month, volunteers collect green bags of non-perishable food. That food is collected, packaged, and sent out to 12 food banks across the Rogue Valley. And throughout the year so far, Medford Food Project has collected over 172,000 pounds of food.
And we anticipate that we're going to get between 30 and 35,000 pounds more to add to that, which will put us over the 200,000 pounds of food mark for the year.
And more than 2,300 people are donors to the project in the city of Medford. And to find out how you can donate or volunteer with the Green Bag Project, visit our website.
In Ashland, a longtime volunteer is being recognized on the national stage for her acts of community service. Volunteer Director Vanessa Hauk of Southern Oregon Jobs with Justice was granted a $25,000 award from a nonprofit that spotlights acts of community service. Hauk tells us she's especially grateful for the award as the need in the community has surged. She says federal funding sources have tightened over the last year, leaving more people to turn to them for meals and basic supplies.
We're seeing an unprecedented need, and the need is much greater than what we're even able to really keep up with very comfortably. You know, we're not getting funded like we had been. So getting this award goes a really huge way in keeping us afloat for a good long time and being able to continue to do this work.
Hauk plans to put the award money towards a long-envisioned project, creating a free closet where people can get clothing, gear, and food all in one place. She says it won't fully cover the cost, but it's a start.
And while we're still waiting on snow, well, it's a perfect opportunity to get those skis ready with the Ashland Ski and Gear Swap. The swap runs this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and this Sunday from 9 a.m. to noon in the Rogue River Room at the SOU Stevenson Union. Sellers must register items online and drop them off on Thursday or Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's $2 per item, and sellers keep 80% of the sale.